Today on the CTV News at 5, Lethbridge kicks off the Alberta Summer Games. Plus, a Medicine Hat man is officially charged with second-degree murder in the death of a nursing student. And the leader of the Canadian Women's Amateur Championship takes a bigger lead at the Lethbridge Country Club.
CTV News with Jackie Scantlebury.
Good afternoon. The Alberta Summer Games are off to a running start in Lethbridge. The torch relay kicked off this morning for the four-day event that's going to showcase sport and culture. Alicia Fieldberg reports.
Local youth carried the Alberta Summer Games torch through the city to kick off the games. 26 torchbearers were nominated for the honor to launch the provincial sporting and culture event.
It's a great opportunity to get involved, come out and see these kids compete and just be part of it, because it's going to be a huge event, and just feeling the excitement of everybody.
Athletes from across Alberta are competing in more than a dozen summer sports at venues throughout the city. Competition started Thursday and runs until Sunday. The provincial-level multi-sport setup gives athletes the chance to experience sport in an exciting atmosphere.
Getting a chance to compete against a little bit higher quality of athlete from other parts of the province, so you can really up your own game.
Trying to push yourself to be the best and do the best you can, and it'll also be really cool to be able to go watch other sports and meet other athletes from across the province.
3,000 athletes, officials, and coaches, 2,500 volunteers, and thousands of spectators will have 4 days to watch sports, take in cultural events, and tour the city.
Came down from Calgary to check out some of the Summer Games action. I'm going to be volunteering tomorrow. We just got a taste of some of the entertainment. I'm sure there's going to be much more to come.
Local performers and artists are also getting the chance to showcase their talent over the weekend. The event is expected to bring in $4.5 million to the city. Alicia Fieldberg, CTV News, Lethbridge.
The Games opening ceremony starts tonight, 7 o'clock at the NMAX Centre. Meanwhile, the Olympic torch is making its final journey through London today, stopping at two key sites in the city. As you can see, members of the royal family, including Prince William and Kate, greeted the torch as it passed through Buckingham Palace. Massive crowds lined the streets to greet the flame as the sun blazed down on London. It's one of the perks of being Prime Minister. The Olympic torch actually comes to you. Runners brought the flames right to the front door of number 10 Downing Street, where Prime Minister David Cameron and his wife are waiting. The torch ends its 12,000-kilometer trip tomorrow at the Games opening ceremonies. And of course, we here at CTV are going to be airing the Olympics, and that's going to mean a temporary move for our newscast. Starting tomorrow, you'll be able to join us for all your local news, weather, and sports at 6:30. You can also catch us online through our CTV Lethbridge Facebook page or on Twitter. We'll return to our normal time after the Olympic Games. And speaking of games, it looks like we've got a chance of a late thunder shower for the Alberta Summer Games, but otherwise, Dory, a great weekend ahead.
It really does start to stabilize. We've talked about this all week long. We needed to get that instability that's been kind of dogging us to the north, and it's been affecting us. Needed to get that out of the way, and we'll have that out of the way for the weekend. Things are looking really good, especially as we get into tomorrow and then the ensuing days. So yeah, onwards and upwards. I'll have all the weather details coming up in a couple minutes.
Dory. Upgraded charges have now officially been laid against a Medicine Hat man accused of killing a young woman whose body still hasn't been found. 23-year-old Amy Lewis hasn't been seen since June the 11th, and now Jerison Stepanski is formally charged with second-degree murder. Kevin Green was in Medicine Hat for Stepanski's court appearance. Kevin, what is the family saying?
That's right, Jackie. The charges against Jerison Stepanski were officially upgraded in a Medicine Hat courtroom this morning. As you've reported before, Stepanski was originally charged with accessory to murder in the disappearance of Amy Lewis, a 23-year-old nursing student from here in Medicine Hat. Her body has never been found, but police say she's presumed dead, and they say there's now enough DNA evidence to warrant upgrading the charges against Stopansky to second-degree murder. Stopansky is in custody currently in Calgary's remand center and appeared briefly by closed-circuit television here at the court in Medicine Hat. A family spokesperson says the upgraded charges are helping many of them come to grips with Amy's death.
There are a lot of unanswered questions, and there's a lot of information that we don't know. There's information that will come out in the court during the trials, and it's just a matter of waiting until that time.
And Jackie, Stopansky's case will be back here in the Medicine Hat courts on August 2nd, where it's expected the Crown will apply for several.
Okay, thank you, Kevin. Again, that was Kevin Green in Medicine Hat. Now, RCMP have laid charges in connection to a death in Invermere. 31-year-old Corey Jarek was found dead outside of a home in April in Invermere, just hours after being asked to leave a house party. Police have arrested 23-year-old Brian Panayenko. He is charged with assault, robbery, and breach of recognizance. Investigators have not yet said how Jarek died. And an emotional morning in a Lethbridge courtroom during an appearance for the man accused in the city's first ever double homicide. The bodies of two men were found in Adams Park on Mother's Day. Police say 35-year-old Marty Steele and 30-year-old Aaron Thacker were stabbed to death. 28-year-old Cody Blue Favel is charged with 2 counts of second-degree murder, robbery, and weapons offenses. During a brief court appearance today, friends of the accused began to cry when they saw him, which then caused an outburst from the victim's family. Favel's case was set over until August 10th for a date to be set for preliminary hearing. And a man charged with first-degree murder in the death of a Vulcan senior made a brief court appearance today. This morning, Timmy Engel appeared in a Lethbridge courtroom via closed-circuit television. Engel is charged with first-degree murder and indignity to a human body. 77-year-old Otto Bunty Luce was kidnapped from his home in Vulcan in January. His dismembered body was found a few days later near Clare's home. The case was adjourned until August 10th, so Engel can find a new lawyer. The judge also canceled a preliminary hearing that was scheduled to begin next week. In another case, Engel is also facing domestic assault charges. And charges have been withdrawn against a Lethbridge man accused of drug offenses. In September, police charged 33-year-old Chadwick Benoit with possession for the purpose of trafficking after they stopped a car and found close to 80 grams of cocaine inside. The Crown withdrew the charges in court this morning. And we're soon going to be paying more for car insurance. Alberta's Insurance Rates Board says it will allow companies to hike the rates by 5%, still less than the 13% the industry had been going for in June. The hike, which will come into effect on November 1st, will only apply to the mandatory portion of coverage. The board says the increase is necessary because of an increase in injuries and property damage collisions, as well as a drop in revenues generated by investments made by the insurance companies. This is the first increase to mandatory rates since 2008. Well, more than 3 weeks after a Pincher Creek RCMP officer's musical performance with campers went viral online, he's still getting tons of attention.
We didn't do anything wrong, man.
Constable Doug Sokolowski got the unofficial title of coolest cop ever after joining a jam session with campers over the Canada Day long weekend near the Crow's Nest Pass. That video was posted by one of the campers on his YouTube account and has now got more than 850,000 hits. Sokolowski used to play with a band back in the 1980s, and he says his performance on the drums and guitar in the YouTube video weren't his best, but he's happy the video is continuing to give Canada a good rep.
Like I said, when Sean put the video on, I don't think there was any intent that it would generate this kind of interest, but from an RCMP's perspective, we're real satisfied that it's given us a chance to reconnect with the people again. So.
For a while, it was on Yahoo Japan's homepage, so I got a bunch of comments in Japanese characters, and I went and checked the comments one day, and I was like, what is going on, right? Couldn't read any of it.
The video has also been featured on many sites in Europe, and hits continue to climb. Now, Alberta Health is asking people to avoid swimming, wading, or drinking water at Enchant Beach. Officials say during routine testing, they discovered an increase in the levels of fecal coliform in the lake water at Enchant Municipal Park. Anyone who comes in contact with water could suffer from skin, eye, and ear infections. You may recall that a similar advisory is also in effect for the Milk River near Writing on Stone Provincial Park. Well, the Lethbridge Zeller store will be closing its doors, but it could reopen under another brand. More than 6,000 people are going to be out of a job next year now that the Bay has decided to close most of its 64 Zeller stores. Some stores, though, may be reopened and rebranded. The U.S. chain Target has bought other Zellers locations. Medicine Hat and Cranbrook Zellers will become Target stores. And Little Bow MLA Ian Donovan will be at the Coaldale Community Centre tonight to discuss concerns over electricity lines and rates. The town hall meeting gets underway at 7 o'clock. The event is open to the public, and it's a chance for area residents to voice their concerns to the province. The Helen Schuler Nature Centre is celebrating the grand opening of its Home Away from Home. The temporary site will be home to the Nature Centre until the end of 2013, while renovations and an expansion to the facility are completed. Their new home can be found in Indian Battle Park, south of the high-level bridge. Celebrations tonight include an outdoor festival. It runs from now until 8 o'clock. Well, it looks like the Calgary Stampede isn't the only Stampede celebrating a milestone this year in Alberta. The Medicine Hat Stampede kicked off its 125th edition with a parade this morning. Hundreds of people lined the streets to see the floats under sunny skies. The slogan for this year's event is "A tradition since 1887, a legacy for the future." The Stampede continues until Saturday. And a Medicine Hat man has a $500,000 reasons to smile today. Harvey Buchlotz thought he'd won $500 on Lotto Max, and then the screen flashed after the clerk checked his ticket out, and he left a few zeros behind. Buchlotz split $1 million prize with a person in Quebec, and he says he doesn't have any plans immediately for the money, but paying off his mortgage is right up there. And it was a good day on the markets. Here's a look at the day's closing numbers.